Okay, video 5, streamlining Congress. This is where the daily work of the establishment gets done in Washington, D.C., is on Capitol Hill within the committee and subcommittees of Congress, of which there are 200 committees and subcommittees. Um, so I looked at that entire process, looked at every single committee, and simply went back to the enumerated powers sections of the Constitution that grants powers to Congress and to the rest of the federal government. And I reworked the committee and subcommittee system until I came up with 70 committees and subcommittees. A lot of the and the core ones are joint committees, so that you're not wasting time with it getting done in the House and it goes to the Senate and all that. So these joint committees is going to save a lot of time. It's also going to cut down on the congressional staff, which numbers about 12,000. That's a small city. What's that? That's E-Course and would that be E-Course and River Rouge put together, about 12,000 people, just to put it into the 13th Congressional District terms. So I know you're thinking, okay, well, Chris, how does this affect my daily life? It affects every aspect of your daily life. All the law firms, all the lobbyists, all the special interest groups, everybody that is making money off of the federal government and contracting and all of that, the entire establishment, they have to get daily business done through legislation, and that's done with the committee and subcommittee process. 90% of the legislation that gets passed through Congress, you don't hear a damn word about in the media. Why don't you hear about it? Because they're busy distracting you with the hot button issues. You know, only the stuff that they know that they can distract you on and divide the nation and make you all angry. That's the stuff they put out there. 90% of legislation sails right through. And that's the stuff that the special interest groups have made sure that they've given contributions to the right members of Congress to make sure that something gets on the bill. There's also such a thing as a clean bill. And the special interest groups and the lobbyists, they pay money to members of Congress to make sure that nothing gets put on the bill and that it goes right through as a clean bill. You've got to change that process. That is realistically what has to happen, and somebody's got to work on it. Somebody who understands that process and who's willing to dismantle it all and then get it back into enumerated powers granted to the government in the Constitution. This is the way things work in the real world, folks, of what really needs to happen. You know, all this little stuff that you say that you see that members of Congress are going to work on, that's just all fluff out there to get the media coverage for back home. This is a fundamental thing that needs to be worked on. So go to my Streamline Congress page, read every single word.